99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos. Welcome to Dailies today, the second part. That is, I'm Sharif Quadry.
And I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
Yes, and we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch on Facebook and on YouTube. That is Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's begin now. Page 8 of the Vanguard is where we're starting from. We've got, how many stories do we have here? 3 stories?
Yeah, we'll start with this.
Okay, let's start with this one here. Tinubu rewards the Tigress with $100,000 each. Flats. National honors for Afro basket triumph.
I think that at this rate, I'd better go see if I can win the World Scrabble, competition or something like that. Because our reward system. Anyway, let me read the story first. The story says that President Bola Tinubu yesterday gifted Nigeria's senior national women's basketball team $100,000 each to each of the players, and $50,000 each for the 11-man coaching and technical team, and bedroom flats at Renewed Hope Estate for members of the team at the coaching staff. At this rate, the whole Renewed Hope Estate, if care is not taken, will be given out to various achievers. Because it's not only in sports that this should happen. It's not only in sports. There are various ways in which people are bringing national honor, so we might as well open the spread. We can't talk about sports only. We should be giving people like Davido, Burna Boy, we should be giving them thousands of dollars for bringing honor to the country. In the theater arts, the same thing, in very many endeavors. So it shouldn't be sports. And the truth of the matter is that this thing is highly political. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. $100,000 really to some of these people is good money, yes, there's no doubt about that. But, it should be looked at in the context of our overall supposed capability and how we endeavor to make sure that other sections. Look, as this was going on yesterday, the Federal Ministry of Finance was shut down by retired military officers. The story is here. It was shut down. We'll get to it. It's the next story online. It was shut down by retired military officers. So what's all this? When we do all this, we get the girls to sing On Your Mandate We Shall Stand, and guess your guess is as good as mine. This is politics. This is politics. And I urge every Nigerian who has brought honor to the country in any manner possible, in any competition, to please step forward and collect his own share. I mean, for God's sake, if I'm not trying to belittle what they have done, but I wonder what would have happened if under this government we had won the Olympic medal. Don't get me wrong, please. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that these people are undeserving of the honors done them. Indeed, if I had my way, they would probably get more. In any case, history has shown that they won't get the houses, so they might as well get the dollars. Because maybe for the next 15 years, they'll still be struggling to look for one paper or the other, and that's where it ends. And so this is a new thing, a new phenomenon that has started. I expect Wole Soyinka to be given some money for a latest book or the latest play. I expect Niyo Shundari, all these people to be honored. Sheriff, I think there's one Scrabble competition that I heard is going on in this. I think you and I should go, but we share the money. I will go to share it 50-50.
I am not even sure that we're going to win.
And we will grab it. We will grab it and run away with it. We will have everything. So I'm happy for the girls. Really, and from the bottom of my heart, I'm happy for the girls. Also, I'm a football fan. whenever Nigeria is playing, or whenever Arsenal or Liverpool are playing. I'm a football fan, and with what they have done in this basketball, the basketball is particularly significant because I think that their timing is right. If they hadn't come immediately after the football, whatever, nobody would have thought of giving them $100,000. So you better hurry.
And win something now.
I win something. There is something basically wrong with the kind of thoughts that is going around the presidency, and it is called panic. With the advent of the ADC and the number of disgruntled people, and guess what? The party, the real core people, do not trust the members of the party to stand with the party through and through. So it appears to be settlement time. Forget all these declarations. They don't trust some of the governors. Are you going to say deep within you that you will trust the governor of Akwa Ibom to push the APC through and through? Of course not. It could be difficult. And look at the way he has been dancing, and the implications, the things that he has said in a veiled manner. So it is called panic. And in panicking, they have thrown everything but the kitchen sink at the problem. And guess what? It is still 2 years away. So the government, I think that the government should go back to the drawing board. Don't panic. This is not the time. You've made a mistake with the appointments at the beginning. Now you're trying to rectify it. Fair enough. But don't show signs of panic. Bayo Ononuga replies every single. I'm the only person he has not replied. Thank God for that. He has. In fact, I read somewhere this morning that he has been warning Aregbesola that if he betrays Tinubu, he would answer for it. So let's. I'll tell the government: don't panic, don't put things in proportion. Do the needful. Look at the police now. All of a sudden, you've promoted maybe over 1,000 policemen. Why did he have to come to that? Because the policemen are threatening. But congratulations to Nigeria. Congratulations to everybody. We've had another laurel added to our feather. Feather added to our. Which one is it? I don't know whether I added feather or not, but at least we have something to smile about. So we'll go to the second story, which is this one.
All right, let's do the second story. Smear campaign against Ojulari aimed at derailing oil sector reforms. That's according to a group.
Again, I wonder, the stories that came out over the weekend from about Friday about the Mr. Ojulari, who is the MD of the NNPC, had been mind-boggling. It was said in certain circles that, he was captured by the EFCC chairman and the DSS, and they forced him to resign over some lady. I don't know. I don't want to go into all that messy parts. Okay, and then there was silence, and then it just so happens that Mr. Ojulari surfaced yesterday at some event and was talking about African this and that and that and this. And it hasn't been, I haven't seen, maybe there was, maybe I didn't see it. I haven't seen a categorical statement either from the NNPC or even the government. I think I saw something by the government, one very quiet release that said that Ojulari is still the MD of NNPC. The problem is that what exactly is going on at the NNPC? This is a challenge for the editors. I remember the good old tale. I remember the good old the news. I remember the paper, the magazines produced by the same Bayo Ononuga. Way back in the day, the late Delegiwa, may God bless his soul. We still haven't found out who killed him, but at least the killer knows and God knows. And this is a challenge to the media. What exactly happened to Bayo Ojulari? He's just been appointed not up to 3 to 4 months. The first thing we heard that was credited to him that, he packed some people in a private jet and they went to Rwanda or something for some conference and whatever. Well, that's the way these things go. But what exactly happened to Ojulari? You won't hear from the government, but something that is not quite tasteful, that is not as palatable as the story of the Tigresses being given money and so on and so forth. Something has taken place. But it's good to hear that he's back at his job. It's good to hear that he's back at his job, and we hope that he will concentrate on getting the job done. He will concentrate on getting the job done. As for the reasons that were given for all these things that happened, I would say that one has to be very, very careful, because the rate at which news flies, both original news and fake news, by the way by which they interplay and intermix with each other, I would say one has to be very, very careful. But he's back at his seat, and that is the part that I think in the interim concerns most people. I'm surprised his minister didn't issue a statement about it as a minister to say that no, he's still, but well, we know that he's back at his seat.
I wanted to ask whether you think that it could all be a witch hunt anyways. Looking at what Mr. Julari did the moment he came into power, getting some people off the books of NNPC, laying quite a number of NNPC staff off, and all of that.
And not just that, also remember that I didn't want to delve into it, because these days you have to be very, very careful. But it was also being accused of indirectly funding Atiku's campaign, and that the president felt that it was a stab in the back. We don't know how true these stories are, but apparently it appears as if he might have one or two quote-unquote connections with a company run by Atiku's son-in-law. So there are all these intrigues there. Now, these things could really well be placed to embarrass him. Don't forget that NNPC is a cash cow. Until date, I haven't heard of any NNPC official. I can't remember any. If you remember any, please tell me. That has been jailed for corrupt practices. I can't remember. Since the days of one gentleman, I don't know if he was jailed eventually, but that's about 20 to 30 years ago, who it was said that it was his wife that showed them where the money was. And he didn't even go to jail. I think he was able to maneuver his way out of it. So NNPC is a cash cow. If you get a letter of employment of that agency at whatever level, you should thank your stars. So yes, there's a lot of intrigues going on, highly competitive. It is a house of the most corrupt practices that ever passed through the shores of Nigeria. So yes, I believe very strongly that I think he will be set up. There are so many banana pills that have been put. He must sleep on one. Sorry, Ojari, let me speak in English. If you go this way. So yes, from the day you get your letter of appointment that you are the MD of NNPC, you're already a rich man. You don't know how it works. If they make the announcement, it's 7 o'clock news that Sheriff has been appointed the MD of NNPC. By 7 p.m. of that day, you're already a billionaire in hard currency. Joe, you know how this thing works. Like they say, it is not from my mouth that you.
Oh boy. Let's go to our next story. Page 6 of the Vanguard. Entitlements, ex-soldiers shut down finance ministry.
Yes, this was what I was referring to, and it's made the third. It says yesterday that a group of retired soldiers, you know, the ones I've been dealing with, God bless El Adebayo, may he so rest in peace. yesterday. They was protesting the non-payment of gratuity, security, debarment allowance, SDA, and other entitlements. The protest, which began at about 7 a.m., left ministry workers stranded for hours as they were unable to access their offices. The agreed ex-servicemen, comprising men and women, demanded the release of their outstanding allowances. Let me first of all say clearly that it was not an immediate problem of the Tinubu government. In fact, I know it happened during Buhari's government. This was because it's ongoing. I don't know if it was as far back as Jonathan's government. But in any case, if the ones that I brought here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times that I brought here, is anything to go by. These ones, and one of them died, Elder Adebayo, they fought during the Civil War. They still haven't got their allowances. Yet, we are giving out thousands of dollars to people who won the football match to bring it down to the basics. I wonder what kind of people we are, and I wonder what constitutes the body of some of our leaders. Here you have people who put their lives on the line, but I'm not surprised because this morning during Kofi Battle's program, somebody called in, because he lives near the barracks and they put the soldiers disciplined him and so on and so forth. Therefore, they shouldn't be given the allowances. That's the kind of thinking. That's the kind of thinking. I am also surprised that you still have Chief of Army Staff put on their uniforms, redneck and everything, and can't think of these people. Year in, year out, new Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Defense, Chief of whatever. You don't think of your people. People who put their lives on the line. The ones I brought here, they were in the war front, they were in the trenches. They told their story of how they spent 10 days without taking off their shoes. Real suffering. And what is expected, the least that is expected, is that those who have done this kind of thing, who have served this country, policemen, soldiers, name it, on the day they are going, the country should give them a handshake. If you've ever been to the United States, you will be glad that you served your country. Even something like when you want to board a flight, they'll tell you, the first set of people that are going to board our flight are retired military personnel. And we thank you for your service. The country shows appreciation. And I find it intriguing that the leaders of this country are not worried at all about the way they are treating retired military personnel. What do you think it does to the morale of those who are present? The same thing with policemen. It's unfortunate. It shows that there's something that is particularly not right. You are very quick, in a very quick hurry, to give $100,000. How much are you going to pay these soldiers, Sheriff? How much is it? Isn't it about time the president should summon both, whether the DFA or the FDA or whatever, all the generals, and say, look, what is happening? This thing is embarrassing. What kind of morale do I want the ones in service to have? How much is this money? Let's take some money from somewhere and pay these people off. It should be an embarrassment to any government. I've been fighting for soldiers now for close to 5 years. For close to 5 years. And one of them died. He died recently, Elder Adebayo. It's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Listen to what the story says. It says, the angry soldiers carried placards with messages like, we are first and second quarter retirees of NA 2003. We are living heroes and deserve to be recognized and treated right, not celebrated as fallen heroes when we are no more. We, the voluntary discharged soldiers of 2024, demand full payment of our benefits, including shortfalls in gratuity, SDA, parking allowance, and 4-month salary cuts. They claim to be members of voluntary discharged soldiers who retired from the Nigerian Army in the first 2 quarters of 2024. They barricaded the main gate of the ministry and prevented the staff and management. The ex-soldiers insisted on the immediate payment of their gratuities, unpaid salaries, pension, and wage award palliatives, while threatening to occupy the ministry. Remember that these people are not teenagers. Sheriff, I think the retirement age in the military is 60 or so. These are elderly people. Remember, you are not talking about young people. Some of them had to wear camouflage. You know, they had to wear camouflage and come out protesting. But the chairman of the Military Pensions Board, Air Vice Marshal Abubakar Adamu, and several other military officers tried to persuade the protesters, but it fell on deaf ears. I have spoken to Air Vice Marshal. I've spoken to him in the case of the Mount soldiers. Yes, I've spoken to him, and he promised to do something. I'd also like to thank Honorable Benson because he facilitated all these things. But we still haven't gotten the money, and one of them is dead. So Nigerians, we need to do some thinking. We need to do some introspection. The government needs to handle this issue, the issue of these military pensions, the police issue. They need to. In fact, the Inspector General himself said he was ashamed. He said it. Okay, he's ashamed. What is happening? They started mass promotion of the police, mass this and mass that. And whether you like it or not, there is that unspoken culture, that unspoken structure has broken down. What you will find is people who are taking up these jobs because they don't have any other thing to do. You will hardly ever find lawyer. That's why these days I appeal to you. If you see any policeman on the road, last week they were on the roads. They were begging, give them something. Yes, give them something. Some people will argue that they are paid. There are people who don't have jobs. If you don't want to give them, leave them alone. But give them something. Have mercy on them. Have mercy on them. The same thing with retired soldiers. Give them something. I want you to imagine. I experienced something. I think it was the days of Babangida, where for 4 days the police went on strike. I was living in Sulere at that time. There was no sleep at night. This was before there was telephone and whatever. They were breaking into houses. Lawansin area was every night. You know? So I want you to imagine. So look, sweepers, policemen, have mercy on them. Just give them something, because the day the bubble will burst in that system. Next story.
Let's go to our next story. Okay, now this is page 9 of the Vanguard. I think we've taken this, so we're going to move on to this one here. U.S. to international students, we will revoke your visa if you skip classes. Leave program.
Look, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the way things are going, we are going to lose our pride as a people, Africans. Every day the American government, this latest one led by Trump, is dishing out one instruction or the other. You know, and we tend to take it, but they are paying for it. Don't worry. Go to the social media and look at a lot of the airports. So a new instruction has come out. Every week one instruction. This one says that as part of immigration crackdown, they want that international students who either skip classes or leave their programs would have their visa revoked. You know, so that is the announcement that we have here. I still think that African leaders must introspect and develop their country. It's just about time and to stop. These things, for example, are probably not aimed at a British or somebody, a student from Europe. It's probably geared towards Africans. So it's about time we developed our own continent and stayed home. But that's a story entirely for another day. But just for you to know that if you're an international student, you skip classes or you leave your program, you're on your way back home.
Indeed. We have to go now, but let's drop this one here for mention. How salt addiction is driving Nigeria's health woes.
Yes, I think that I'll have to get a doctor. This story raised an alarm in even myself. Okay, salt intake, because if you notice, the salt that you even have nowadays is so powerful on the tongue, it's so strong and so sharp. So I'm going to try and get a doctor here before the end of the week. Let us talk about salt. You go and buy Tozo, the one in your house, yes, maybe. But every food you taste, you're either tasting salt or something. What I don't want to call, what are they called now?
Seasoning.
Seasoning, yeah. You know the famous one. Things like that. One has to be very, very careful. Very, very careful.
All right. You're back at 9. He's back at 9 for Daily Digest.
Yes.
That's our show for this morning. Thank you all to everybody who listened. Thank you for watching as well on Facebook and on YouTube. Kofi is making a return for the remaining part of the morning crossfire. Stay here with us on Nigeria Info.
7 p.m. Don't na yellow clock be that.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.